Hello, this is Rob Grimes with the IFBTA, and today we have the pleasure of welcoming one of our newest global industry partners, Mako Networks, and Simon Gamble, its president and co-founder. So welcome to the IFBTA.
Great, thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
So what exactly did take you over to food and beverage? Was it a C-store customer that maybe was co-located in food and beverage, or how did that happen?
Food and beverage has always been a target market for us. Our technology, we feel, is very, very strongly suited to it. We have a number of large franchise-based food and beverage customers. We're now in some of the main brands, main food and beverage name brands, mostly in the UK and Europe, and that's through convenience stores. So as everyone knows, a lot of
The
convenience
partnerships.
stores, yeah, they have partnerships, and those business owners also own typically a large number of food and beverage locations. In the United Kingdom and Europe, where the price of gas has been excessively high for a long time, electrification is more advanced there than it is here in the US, which means when people go to a gas station, they need something to do for 20 or 30 minutes while their vehicle's charging up. And food and beverage is one of those pastimes for people that are waiting to charge up their car.
Well, the interesting thing about that is that if you take a look at C-stores and, as you've already said, distributed model, in reality, it's so similar to the franchise model in restaurants, especially QSR, because of the drive up more than some of the other ones that are there, that I think over time we might start to see not just convergence or partnerships, but actual replacement of locations being more food and beverage than they are possibly retail or certainly gasoline as we move to the electric, charging stations.
Yeah, and we can see that already taking place. A lot of our petroleum dealer customers at a single location will have obviously one gas station and three different brands. Usually, two out of the three are food and beverage. So we're seeing that already, and I think that trend is going to continue.
But brands take space, so just out of curiosity, are you indicating a trend that says that perhaps the food and beverage is more valuable to a C-store than the retail has traditionally been in the use of space? Because retail measures, sales by square foot,
Yeah.
whereas, the restaurant industry doesn't do it that way. They, measures by, check average and average check, and things like that.
Yeah, data analytics is a big thing in the convenience store space. So working out how many people come into the location to fill up their cars versus how many come into the store. It's no secret that a C-store, petroleum C-store owner makes more money out of selling food and drinks in their store than they do out of selling gas. The gas margins are pretty slim. And so our technology is the bedrock for being able to deliver a lot of analytics that these businesses need. Like if I have this advertisement at the dispenser, will someone come into the store? What sort of drinks will they buy? What sort of advertising can I get to them to get them to come in and get a free latte? And then, hey, they're going to buy a croissant at the same time. So, yeah, I think to answer your question, in terms of by area, the food makes them more money than the gas does in a lot of cases, but the gas is what gets the customer into the store.
So you're actually, giving members and people of the food and beverage community, you're solidifying the idea of how they may expand, their operations into some new points of delivery, new partnerships, and things like that. Not as competitors, but as partners. So, in your own piece, now that you see this vision, you're global and you have expanded there. What do you think the biggest factors are going to be that are going to impact the impact of Mako Networks over the next few years, given your view of the industry and your vision on that?
So I think the biggest thing that's going to impact us in terms of business is credibility. I really believe that even though we're a technology company, our people are more important than the technology we deliver. They come up with the technology, they service it, they support it, and we have very, very high levels of satisfaction and credibility in the C-store and petro space for delivering technology at scale to people, yet servicing it properly, having someone answer the phone call, and not delivering technology that doesn't also deliver problems. And the biggest hurdle that we have when entering a new market, like food and beverage, is developing that credibility. We were exceptionally fortunate in the petroleum C-store space that one of our very first customers in the United States is also one of the largest petroleum and C-store businesses in the world. and being able to deliver to them showed the rest of that market that we know what we're doing. We can use that as credibility in the food and beverage space, but word of mouth is the best thing. So it's just a snowball effect. Getting the first customers, delivering first class technology and first class service to them. They'll tell their peers in the same vertical.
Absolutely. I mean, even for the guest in a food and beverage operation, word of mouth is the number one thing that kills you or makes you, right? So you're absolutely right. That is going to be the thing that propels you. You are fortunate that you have established partnerships that can prove that you can scale. They also prove, by the way, that you can work in some rather remote locations. They prove that you can work globally, and you can work within different systems and requirements of different areas of the world and things. So I think that those are some things that are there. But, the food and beverage industry is evolving. Some of it, certainly has evolved quicker because of the last few years of COVID. But it's certainly evolving. So if you look at that, first of all, what is your perfect customer? What do they look like? What's their profile in this industry? And why they should be interested in you. But secondly, what's the value that you're able to bring in a changing environment like food and beverage? Including not just existing value, but perhaps future value in technology.
Yes, great question. Well, series of questions. Our ideal customer is a large franchise-based organization or a fast-growing small one that one day wants to be large. So where our technology really shines is with organizations made up of a large number of small sites. Our technology is cloud managed, and it's role-aware management as well, which means that a brand can have visibility over their entire estate. And then if it's franchised, the franchise groups can have visibility over their environments as well. The brand can lock out aspects of our technology from the franchise from being able to manipulate. Typically, that's the point of sale environment. But importantly, leave large areas of the technology for the franchise groups to use as they want. So if a franchise group wants to have their own back office system, wants to have their own wide area network going back to head office or data centers, wants to send data into a centralized data lake, they can use our technology at no additional cost. Yet the brand delivers a technology standard and protects the point of sale environment from breach, which of course helps the franchise groups, but also importantly helps the brand from a big exposure. Because if Dave's convenience store gets breached, it's not Dave that's in the news, it's the major oil brand that gets in the news, and they don't want that. These brands also want to establish a technology base to deliver other new and exciting technology. So everyone likes talking about the new and exciting stuff that brings new customers into your store. All of it requires a highly robust and resilient network in order to put it in. Also, there's lots of technologies in food and beverage that third parties are delivering. Third-party food delivery companies are one great example of that. And they put a piece of technology into a store's network that no one's got any security control over.
Right.
So having a specified environment where those technologies can be used, don't expose the rest of the business or the brand to risk, is really important. Our technology delivers that. Many of our franchise-based customers end up using our technology to build their own corporate wide area network at no additional cost. So, it's one thing a brand being able to say to their franchise groups, hey, we want you to use this technology, but there's got to be something in it for the brands more than just for the franchise groups more than just appeasing the brand's desire. And so I think one of our big strengths is there's a value proposition for a brand and an equally strong value proposition for the franchise groups as well.
I want to thank you for joining us today. And again, this is Rob Grimes with the IFBTA, and it's been our pleasure to welcome Mako Networks as a global industry partner of the IFBTA, and Simon Gamble. Thank you.
Appreciate you taking the time, and we're really looking forward to meeting some of your members and being part of the team.
Thank you.